Hi guys, my name is John. I'm a tour guide with Depot Adventures, and today we're going to be talking about this place I've just been hanging out, my house. This is a classic Australian home, in fact a Victorian home. Victorian row homes, row houses, are a very common sight in this part of the world, but when people live here and grow up here, they don't realize this is pretty unusual for people like Americans, where I grew up, who are used to much differently shaped homes. These very narrow homes featuring a door on one side and in one room with a long hallway stretching the entire way down are so common that you see them one after the other after the other. This is a double frontage done over this way. Very common way of having homes. In fact, in some parts of Melbourne that you can go to, the row homes don't even have a gap between them. They're all wall to wall to wall. We are lucky enough to have a gap going all the way to our back garden this way. Why do we have these row homes? It's pretty simple. Let's have a look at this. I'm going to just pivot. No, I can't pivot my camera around, so let me just show you this way. This is a map of the subdivided land. There's a massive gold rush in Australia that happened in 1851. It lasted until 1892 when the gold rush came to a crashing halt. There was a big boom, just like the dot-com boom of the early 2000s. In the 1870s, 80s, and early 90s, the land prices went up and up and up and up. As everyone tried to make money, they would buy up huge plots of land and subdivide them out. So this is actually a poster that I have of one of the properties I used to live in, of the place where I lived. So you see here, it's a plan of subdivision of the well-known Riversdale Estate, Upper Hawthorn. Today it's in what's called Camberwell, but here it must have been called Upper Hawthorn in the 1880s. Situate fronting Riversdale Road East, Prospect Hill Road, Fermanagh, Waterloo, and Trafalgar Roads, comprising 40 magnificent villa sites to be sold by auction by G.W. Taylor and Company, auctioneers, land and estate agents, 20 Collins Street West, on Saturday, May 13, 1882, at 3 o'clock on the ground. What would have happened is that this whole division, where you can see all the houses divided up, that would have been purchased in one lump sum, and then the subdividers decided to divide these like that, and that's the properties that we have today. And so the plot that I'm on right now, would have originally been subdivided much like this was, and then a house would have been built on it. In the early days, you would have had either a double frontage or a single frontage home, like the ones I showed you before, stretching down this way, or this way as well. You got the double frontage that way. But then also in the neighborhood, you'll see more contemporary rebuildings. So sometimes you see a house which is a bit newer, and it has been built in the last few years, because a lot of these places are only one story high. So you can double your floor space by adding a second story, or even adding a split unit and rent out one of the units and keep another unit for yourself. In a place where the population is booming and we're in the middle of another land boom, it's a really good way to be able to support yourself, to be able to have one side of the property paying for the other side. Melbourne is in the middle of a massive housing crisis. $800,000 is the average price of a house. But if you wanted to buy this thing, you'd be spending at least $1 million. A lot of the houses around us are sold recently. 2 doors down, I believe it's sold for I can't remember, it was between $1 and $2 million. So it's quite hard to get housing. We didn't have the global financial crisis down here in Australia. The mining industry helps to prevent that from happening here. So that means that the COVID-19 crisis, which we're going through right now, is something that will probably be our first economic downturn in 30 years. For the first time, we're going to see our house prices drop once again, which means that just maybe someone like me will be able to afford a house like this. If not, I'm going to be a renter for a much, much longer time. My name is John. I'm a tour guide with Depot. We've been doing these daily videos, and if you are enjoying them, something that will help a lot, just hit the subscribe button. It would let us know that you like these videos, that you watch these videos. Hit that subscribe, and we'll be back again tomorrow with another one. Thank you, and good day.